You know, part of trying to get a 911 coupe was I had an opportune time around December of 2023, and this car came up, and it was lower, and I could tell why because they described it as the New York dealer, Queens New York dealer had it described as needing repaint, paint work. The paint's serviceable. It's just a lot of touch up work. But I can see this car's had some goofy people work on it incorrectly and just kind of throwing stuff on there. These straps right here, the muffler straps, were totally orientated the wrong way. The end of the bolts here, the Allen bolts, were pushing up against the panel. They were flipped, and it was actually wedged and pushing this, bending this up. So I took them both up, off, cleaned them up a little bit, and orientated them this way. And from every underside carriage I've seen on the 911, the old classic 911s, that is the correct on the SE's orientation. It's definitely not correct. It couldn't. It was basically some. I don't know why the heck they would do that. It's so pretty much self described there. You can just look at it and figure out. But that's why I work on my own cars. And now of course I'm correcting all the wrongs from previous owners and the owners who had stuff people work on their car, which looks like I don't know what the backstory is with this, but anyways, I'm having fun doing it. It's just I just shake my head at some of the idiocies that you see that are just common sense. You could just look at it and see that's not correct. The way those clamps were, those muffler clamps. This is the gear oil. This is from the just overflow from the fill tube, not even the drain yet, because my two plugs I ordered two instead of one just to have a backup. I did break that drain bolt loose. Like most of the 915 gearboxes on these classic 911s, the drain always comes out with no problem. It's the fill plug that is always the problem that gets stuck. So I'm looking at this gear oil, and I could tell, probably after the previous owner tried to attempt to get do a gear oil change, maybe on his own, maybe somebody, obviously a shop would have figured out how to get that bolt off, but it's probably not been changed because of that. And so it looks like it's been in there pretty much a long period of time. So, well, like I said, I'm enjoying it, but it's just some stupid stuff that just isn't correct. I got to take that panel out and bend it and touch it up a little bit, but it's coming along. I'm just doing touch-up work, just tons and tons of nicks. I mean, I'm taking in sections. Even the front bumper, if you look like right here, all the little nicks, some kind of attempt to spot match. I got a pretty close color. It looks a little bit more antique-y. I've been experimenting with two touch-up paints. One's a little bit whiter. One's a little bit more antique looking. But it's actually, like I said, it's serviceable. This one, I'm going to re-hit. It's a little bit too white on that one. Maybe I'll blend the two together. But, yeah, it's... the next thing I'm going to do is I got to figure out how to... When I bought this car, about a couple weeks after, I kind of wanted to take off they think this is a T-tray spoiler from the 930. I think that was optional for the SE. This is an 82 SE coupe in Grand Prix white. And you can see some of the black. I think this is supposed to be satin, is fading on the edges, and it needs to be repainted. But I bought another lid without the spoiler, and it was in Grand Prix white. So actually, I got that in the basement, and it's got, the guy threw in the grill, gave me a package deal. It was a little bit more than what I wanted to spend, but having the Grand Prix white versus all the other ones that are available was worth the extra money because I could just throw it on. Again, the paint job is serviceable, so it'll just be good to go. So I'm thinking about taking the spoiler lid off, throwing that in the basement. I can always go back and forth. That's the beauty of having a regular one versus it did come with the front matching spoiler, so I believe it was optioned this way when a car was ordered, or it could have been done at the dealership, but it looks like it was probably ordered at the factory this way, or made, it was very common to see a lot of these 82, 83 SEs, 81s with the 930 spoiler option. I forget what code that is, but over here, if you look at those holes, it was a Yamaha amp. And where's that Yamaha amp? Anyways, it was an old 80s Yamaha amp, and the guy wired in with 2 RCA jacks from the new Kenwood stereo. And it's like a current 2023 Kenwood. He must have just put it in before he sold the car. And it sounds really good, but when I got it, it sounded like crud. And that's because he had 2 RCA jacks coming off the back of the radio, the RCA connections, and it only powered the front speakers. I took the amp out, took all the mess of wiring and wired it directly to the Kenwood. And now I have the back speakers, and it sounds great. So the next thing to deal with is the steering wheel. The actual wrap, again, you're seeing a lot of Mickey Mouse stuff at this price level. And it looks like maybe that's the original. If it's been replaced, it's just missing the stitching. So instead of having it restitched, he gets black electrical tape. Yeah, I go as far as say he's a real putz, whoever had this car before. But these cars, I get it. People say these cars have become very valuable now, but back in the day they weren't, and probably people just repaired them and they were daily drivers, I guess. I don't know. But now that the values are gone up, it's all about doing it right. So, for example, I'm just going through and doing a technique with the paint. Like these were badly nicked, and this was badly nicked on this side. And what I'm doing is kind of doing a technique where I'm rubbing the paint on with my finger, and I'm kind of wiping it down, and then I'm going back and polishing out the excess, and it's working pretty good. Like I said, this car, the main panels are pretty good. Where it's really bad and needing a respray is, and that's just the galvanized, it's getting thin on the top. It's probably because it's been cut so many times. There's a little dent, you can barely see it. But I mean, the sunroof works. Anyways, yeah, so get my plugs in. I'll do the diff change and just finish things up. Probably get it on the road next week. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, thanks.